Good evening, and welcome to another somnambulant version of Diatribes from the voice of Doom. Now here's your sophisticated and sophomoric host, voice of Doom. Hello. Alright. I wasn't planning on doing a diatribe, but it is getting towards spring, and I've reached the 50 episode mark of my season 14, so I will move on to season 15 and do a new diatribe because I recently got a new subscriber, which is a major thing for me because I have now 47. So I want to welcome Vice Marshal Barnacle to my channel. It's a cool name. And do a diatribe because when I get a new subscriber, I feel the compulsion to do another episode for their benefit so that they don't think they wasted their time. So welcome to Vice Marshal Barnacle. Now, I've been watching the conflagration and all these people that have predicted and prognosticated doom are getting kudos, giving themselves credit for predicting the end of the world. Okay, so good for them. But, the destruction gets a little... It's time weary. It gets to where it's too much. And me as a pragmatic person who looks at the planet and how we've evolved, can't help but wonder what God is thinking. If there is a God in the rather infantile conception we have of what God is. I don't know what he's thinking by allowing this planet to continue. Because if I was God and I had created a universe as vast as this universe is, which nobody has any idea how big it is, when you really stop and think about it, it's so huge that it defies human description. But we're a little grain of dust. We're not even dust. We're a little atom in a major, stellar system, which have spent all our time building up armaments to kill each other. And I really don't see why God keeps us going. I really don't, unless it's just for his entertainment. Unless we're some sort of a video game or what do you call that, role-playing RPG, where he's watching us to see what we do. Because we spent trillions and quadrillions and quintillions of dollars over the centuries to build more and more sophisticated weaponry only to blow each other up. And I can't help but thinking, let's think about how much time and trouble it took for Iran to build a battleship. You don't just put a bunch of concrete together and have it float away. It's got all kinds of technical stuff in there. Look at any architectural design. Go to any hotel down in Reno and just walk down the hall and look at how many details there are just to build the hallway. And then you think about the electricity, the water, the piping, the whole thing to make the whole hotel run correctly. And you realize how much time and trouble it took to build that. Or build one in Qatar and the UAE, in Dubai, just to have it blown up. So much time and trouble had been taken to build these battleships and build these things only to be sunk. And I don't see why God is letting this go on. If I was God, there would be a very clear and, it wouldn't be much of a decision at all. Earth is a failure. And to say Earth is a failure is to say God is a failure, so he's capable of failing, or he's just an experiment. Let's just create a biological form that has to conform to physical laws just to see what they do. And they do nothing but kill each other. And God says, oh well, let's just keep it going. I don't get that. I think we should be an asteroid belt by now. There's no reason for any kind of omnipotent being to continue this, because humankind is a failure. Yeah, you can talk about random acts of kindness, and there are good people here, but they're not able to outpace the rate of evil. So Orangey is doing his best to obliterate Iran, and he's doing a good job of it. But these people who have been given the cue and go ahead to rise up are not rising up, and they're losing their momentum, because we're just going to keep on bombing and bombing and bombing until all the people left to rise up will be dead. So they got to move. They're not moving fast enough, not in this day and age. You got to move now. And here's what I think is happening from what I've seen is that Orangey is sending in a contingent of Marines as boots on the ground. We're going to have boots on the ground. Oh my God. I get sick of these stupid ass cliches. Boots on the ground. Okay. We're going to have boots on the ground, and it's a good reason to have boots on the ground, because these indigenous Persians have to be armed so that they have a fighting chance of overcoming these fanatics. It's obvious. And when the fanatics are faced with the populace, and a few of them have rapid-fire armaments, then I think there's going to be a sea change. But the populace has been kind of cowed because they realize they'll be mowed down now. We can try to keep on taking out the IRCG or GC or whatever the hell they are, one by one, but there's got to be a groundswell of common support from the indigenous people of that region to take over their country and effect a change in their government, such as they did in 1979. Go all the way to the other side, just like Venezuela, and say, we're going to take out these guys once and for all, and then we are going to play ball with the U.S. and the West to become a regular country. It could be very simple. But there's going to be more bloodshed. Of course there will be. But there's going to be even more if Orangey continues to obliterate the area. And he's a pragmatist, and he doesn't want to blow up Karg Island. He doesn't want to, take out all the resources of that country, because he's an imperialist, and he wants to save the infrastructure of Iran for later. But it's a hard thing to do. It's very hard. So I'll go from there to going into some of the hypocrisy and some of the idiocy on both sides. Now, it wasn't that long ago during the Petri dish administration that Russia encroached on Ukraine. And all of a sudden, all of the D's and the dumbasses and the Pelosi's and the whatevers were wearing their checkered vests or scarves. I don't know what they were wearing. They were waving the Ukrainian flag and Ukraine. Let's get in the middle of this and save Ukraine. And I don't care one way or the other. I could give two shits about either of those countries because they're both corrupt. But now Orangey takes over Iran, or starts to bomb the shit out of it, and he's saying to Russia, do not intervene, because that will be bad. And I don't think Russia is in any position to intervene, to do anything, and I don't think they want to, nor does Russia, nor does any other ally, so-called, of Iran. But I find it hypocritical to tell Russia they can't intervene when we did everything to intervene when Russia attacked Ukraine. And we helped Ukraine, and we gave them billions and billions and billions of dollars to fight back against Russia. So I don't know what kind of game they're playing, but I don't like the hypocrisy. I mean, I don't want Russia to intervene or arm the Iranians. But if they did, I'd say, well, tit for tat. And then there's idiots who are already coming to the aid of Cuba, saying that we should not do anything in Cuba because they are a sovereign nation that have been very good, and let them be what they want. Cuba's always wanted to probably be a regular country, which would be another tourist mecca. Could you imagine Cuba if it was aligned with America? Oh my God. People would be flocking there by the millions every year to go on vacation, to play in casinos, to be on the beach. But the D's and the wokester, idiot, leftist morons are all, Cuba should remain the way they are because that's their choice. They know nothing. They're idiots. It was their choice back then when the Batista regime was corrupt and they wanted something different. They got something different, didn't they? For the last 67 years. But it's not tenable for this day and age, and I think Cuba should be liberated in the sense of the word, that they are allowed to reach their full potential. And that means getting guns to the Cuban indigenous people and letting them go ahead and take out their oppressors. It's very simple. It's not that hard. But there's always going to be naysayers who are against everything Orangey does because he's Orangey, and say that that's draconian imperialist nonsense. So after they're done with Cuba, I think they should go ahead and take out the leftist wokesters and put them all in one area. I'd say northern Montana. Just carve out a place for them where they can live forever and be in their own kind of environment where they all agree with each other. So I didn't say a whole hell of a lot. It's just a bunch of, disjointed thoughts, but I wanted to give something to Marshall Barnacle, Vice Marshal. And maybe more people might want to join up and be a subscriber. I don't care. Really doesn't matter. There's not much time anymore. I'm not going to beg for likes or anything. Here's just one more little diatribe. Start off season 15 with a bang. And it is a bang. So I'll leave it there and have a good day. Enjoy it.